The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
Hey, what's up, Internet? Paparazzo Dave Chapman here. Today I'm at HEX, the Halloween and Entertainment Expo in Calgary, Alberta. And today we're going to look at something spooky. We're going to look at Campy Creatures. At its heart, Campy Creatures is a simple trick-taking game. Every player starts with an identical backed set of cards numbered 0 to 8. They're going to use those cards to try and win individual tricks. However, the real trick of the game is that on the front, they not only have a number, but all of these monsters have a unique ability that will change how that particular round is going to unfold. So, there are 2 editions of Campy Creatures. This one is the first edition. The second edition has a slightly bigger box. However, when they kickstarted the second edition along with an expansion, they came out with an upgrade kit that allowed me to turn my first edition into second edition with all of the new features and rules that that game has. So second edition setup rules are slightly different than your first edition, starting with the addition of locations. For the first and second round, you're going to have different locations. There's a variety of these that you can choose from. At the end of a full hand, you're going to actually pick up this and get the special ability on this card. As well, in between these are special mortals called assistants. These are a little bit unique. Most mortals will get shuffled back into the deck. These never will and are worth points based on how many you have at the end of the game. The game runs 3 rounds. The third round, the final act, takes place in another location with different abilities. These final act locations will change how the game is scored at the conclusion of that third round. How do you score anything, you're probably asking? That's simple. You're trying to do what every monster does in every monster movie. You're trying to get your hands on mortals. Mortals in this game have different colors, which represent different types of mortals that all score a little bit differently. Red mortals all have a positive score at the end of the game. Blue always have a negative score at the end of the game. Purple ones vary based on whether you have even or odd numbers. And finally, you have the assistant, which, as I mentioned before, add up depending on how many you have at the end of the game. To capture those mortals, generally speaking, the highest number that you play is going to be the one who wins the trick. So, for example, there are 8s, there are 1s. The 8 is going to go before and pick one of the mortals that is available before anyone else. Kaiju is your number 8. He's so big he doesn't even have another ability. However, other players do. So, for example, at the other end, the swamp creature here allows you to give a mortal that you've captured to another player. So if you wanted to go and capture someone negative, or maybe one of those engineers to mess up somebody's count, you can do that and give it to them. There's also a mummy. The mummy is a 3. He's not likely to win. However, it immediately goes first if the kaiju is in play. So there are all sorts of different abilities on all of these amazing cards. Invaders lets you draft 2, not just 1, so you can actually leave someone out in the cold for that round. These are great, and I mean, the art in this game is amazing. I think that's probably the biggest standout part about this game. The last big element to this game is the Clash-O-Meter. Again, this is the first edition Clash-O-Meter. The second edition is a little bit bigger. It has space to put the location cards on it. But the basic premise is the same. It has a score tracker on the outside, and in this little tube here, every player will have a token. If that token is at the top, they will win any ties and immediately move to the bottom. It's a very simple tie-breaking mechanic that keeps things moving. You know before the tie happens who is going to win that tie. So I want to thank the Halloween and Entertainment Expo for having such a great event and having me out. I want to thank, obviously, Keymaster Games for the great game. As always, thank you to The Watch for having me out to do these videos, and the 427s for the amazing music you hear at the beginning and end of this video. Also, special shout out to Krampus in the background. Until next time, good gaming and goodbye.